I call the honourable member Nikki Kay.
Mr Chair, look, I'm pleased to take a call on Part 3 of the EEZ Bill. I just wanted to start by making a couple of comments. The first is to acknowledge why we're here. We know that there is a regulatory gap. We know that New Zealand, our EEZ and continental shelf offers significant opportunities. And the question is, after a significant period whereby governments did not move to fulfil this regulatory gap, whether here today parties in Parliament support legislation to be able to do that. And I'm very pleased that we have seen the Māori Party and the New Zealand First Party shift to support this legislation. And I think one of the key reasons for that was there has been an SOP, and one of the key aspects of our SOP addresses this issue, this Part 3 of the bill. And if we look at the SOP that's been put to the House, it's been supported by the Parliamentary Commissioner for the Environment. In fact, the Parliamentary Commissioner for the Environment has been very clear now that she supports this bill. One of the key aspects of that SOP is to significantly increase the penalties. And whether you look through all of Part 3, everything that this part is about saying we want to decrease risk to our environment and ensuring that there are adequate enforcement powers, that there are adequate penalties to be able to do that. Our SOP massively strengthens that to take it from $600,000 for the maximum penalty to $10 million. But also additionally, if you look through some of these sections, we've had a great contribution from the community and we've really strengthened the law as a result of that. I want to make a special mention of one of the submitters that came to our committee who I think had a real impact on the committee, and that was the Taranaki Regional Council. They have been undertaking activity in terms of consenting marine consents in coastal waters for years, and they came to our select committee with a very practical suggestion around the fact that there needed to be greater enforcement in terms of abatement notices, and our select committee acted. And when you look at the provisions in the bill that deal with this, this is 122A right through to 122D, that really shows that we are serious about enforcement, but we're also serious when the system might see that something is going wrong, that there is an ability for people to be able to ask questions, to be able to ask activity to be looked at or stopped. And that really shows right throughout this part, whether it's the penalties, the abatement notices, or even if we turn to some sections around enforcement and the powers of enforcement officers, sections clause 129, 130, 131, they show a huge amount of powers in terms of being able to search vessels and get information. So what I think this part is actually about is giving a lot of confidence in terms of our environmental management regime to say, yes, we do believe in exploring greater economic opportunities, but we want to ensure that there are some powers in there to prevent and mitigate risk. That's a very sensible piece of legislation for this House to be passing, and I want to acknowledge those members of those parties that have realised the changes through the SOP are significant, have seen that the Parliamentary Commissioner support them, the Māori Party and the New Zealand First Party, who have taken practical measures to show their support to address this regulatory gap and to ultimately make our environmental regime stronger. Thank you.
I call the honourable member